for small business. And we don't have to sell out to big business. And that's what we've been doing, and that's the wrong way to go.
What are the features and benefits?
First of all is our areas as far as what the Economic Development Committee has talked about, and we did that with that CD round that they put out for Western New York. Water is a key part for Western businesses. Certainly when you see the fire issue that's over in Malibu right now, and the dry heat in the West, and just getting water for housing and for business is difficult. That's a much cheaper item here in Niagara County. Great job base. Great job base meaning the employees with skills that are here. They don't have to go to Alabama or Mississippi. They're going to find it right here. A quality, well-educated populace that can work whatever business wants to come here. But again, small business is what we need to develop. Start with something small. Give them a little bit of a tax break to help grow those. You'll have much more employment. And it is nationwide. Small businesses are the employment generators. Not going to big manufacturing, big coal plants. That is not the key to grow Niagara County. The wine trail has offshoots that are going to come from that. Whether it be bed and breakfast, other small restaurants, that's just one aspect of where we're going. If you look at across the river in St. Catharines and Niagara-on-the-Lake, what they've done over 20 years with their wineries and how that's developed to be a true tourist attraction for Toronto and for Western New Yorkers. Now, it's going to be a little hard to promote if you are going to unload large freighters from ADS on the Superior Deal and have 100, 200 trucks loading corn either to a Lewiston ethanol plant or to a Medina ethanol plant. That's not necessarily going to help the tourism side of things or the fishing tourist aspect that we have in Alton and Alton Beach. Those things need to be developed, and that's where the focus, I think, of the county should be.
In your opinion, just because you're joining public office again after hiatus since '97, you're on the school board, and you're not afraid to share your opinion on the politics of Niagara County, what's going on with the IDA and things like that. But we hear a lot of the same things all the time for the years that we've been interviewing candidates as far as we want it to look like Niagara-on-the-Lake, we got to sell our water, things like that. What's gotten in the way as far as Niagara County or Western New York as a whole, as far as politics goes, from making these things happen? And like I said, we've heard about them for years and years. What's it going to take for Niagara County to become this Niagara-on-the-Lake, so to speak?
You need a set of ambassadors, really, that are going to go out and talk. I think what they did with the CD-ROM when they did the presentation at the county legislature, that is just a great start, but you just can't throw it out there and say, oh, it didn't work,
right, and
then move on to something else. Any sales approach on anything takes repetition and keep working at it and sending people out to make that pitch. And so whether I'm trying to sell something for a company or I'm trying to sell Niagara County, that means to keep pushing that, and we have to be able to overcome what might be our negatives, whether it be taxation or it be other issues. So it's going to take effort and consistent effort behind it. And I think what we do a lot of times is we all get behind one little project and then everybody fades away. And we get behind another little project and everybody fades away. And we don't keep the consistency of talking about what we have here.
I guess who's controlling Niagara County?
In my opinion, in the time that I've been watching in the past year and talking to people privately, and even legislators on both sides of the aisle, you'd expect it from the Democratic side, but you're hearing it from Republicans at the town level and at the county level, that there is the county Republican chairman and Senator George Maziarz are running Niagara County and want to run more of Niagara County.
How do you change that as one guy and say Republicans rule again after January 1?
Even if I was the only one to get elected and change these whole things, would I be able to change the majority? No. But I could still be a voice, I think, which is what every legislator should be. A voice for their constituents that stands up and says, something's wrong here, something stinks here, something's got to change. When you take all my time speaking in quote-unquote the public forum at 3 minutes a shot, and it adds up over the last 10 months to be more time than maybe 3 or 4 legislators altogether have spoken in the last 10 months, there's a problem with that. They're not speaking up for their constituents. So you need to have a strong voice as a legislator at whatever level. Take the time to research things, ask the deeper questions, and by shining the light on things, that can possibly change it. You've certainly done that with the New Sunday Journal and with your work, and keeping shining the light on that kind of thing and saying something's got to change. Something's wrong here. This is not the right kind of influence. To see the letter we had from the former town supervisors, That's a great example of what we're talking about. When other Republicans and Democrats who have been in office say there's something wrong with the way George and Henry are running things, then, you know, it's not just somebody running for office. You know, some really serious people that have been involved in Niagara County politics for a long time.
What do you think of Governor Spitz's much mulling around here planning for immigrants' driver's licenses?
I don't think that's the right way to go. I know they talk about it being an insurance issue, but I don't think that those numbers pan out and the other things on the web and the paper. That's just kind of a red herring in my opinion. I personally, and other things that I've written, you know, the whole issue of border security, illegal aliens, that whole issue, it's just, we need to tighten that up. We need to have everybody to have a true, real ID, if you want to use that format. That's got to be useful when we go across the border. It's just something that we need to protect all of the United States, to protect our local communities in Niagara County as well. Everybody should have a true, verifiable identification, whether you're trying to get a bank account or you're worried about ID theft. We're not going to stem that tide unless we have a true license or passport or the real ID, any of those things. It's just a strict verifiable identification.
Would you be in favor of reducing the number of legislators? Do you think 19 is too many?
I think, yeah, and I put in some of my other publications, I like going down to 11. And if we're going to do any consolidation down the road, the best way to show that leadership is if we do that from the top down. So let's consolidate the number of legislative districts that we have, and then show how we can do that in the rest of the county. And then I would say on consolidation, though, that you have to be careful of, and I noticed this in schools, and it's been part of what BOCES is doing for schools. There's a state contract. You already have people saying we got to consolidate school districts, we got to consolidate this. Again, ask all the questions, get all the math. It doesn't always work. You still need X number of employees to get X amount of work done. The fact that they now all work under one umbrella, the county umbrella, instead of 3 towns or 2 other entities, does not necessarily reduce the number of employees you have or the cost of the taxpayer. So you got to be careful whether you're going to eliminate management levels, whether it's superintendents or managers of a department, or you're going to still need certain work that they're doing to be done. So you may not reduce the number of employees, and in county government as well as schools, most of your expense is the people expense, the cost of the employees. So it's not an end all to everything, but you got to make sure you can get the work done that needs to get done.